Hello guys, and today we have here an awesome video. We have here a ban list discussion on the July ban list that will be coming around very shortly. It will be released sometime this month of June. But something I do want to point out real quick is if you go to the Forbidden Unlimited list on Konami's website, something I noticed is that it says effective April 1st and doesn't give an end date. So I just want to point that out, that means we might not get a new ban list in July. Because it does say effective and doesn't give an end date like it used to. Like if you see Bull, it'll have a link to the old ban list and it'll have January to March 31st. Well, this one doesn't, so it's like very confusing, and I don't know why Konami has stopped telling us when the ban list will end. So that is something that I noticed. But then, nonetheless, whether we get the ban list now or whether we get the ban list in 5 years, what needs to get hit? And so somebody pretty much summed it up pretty nicely, and that is the Duelist Alliance decks. It's almost been a year since Duelist Alliance came out. We're getting very close to it. What was it, August or September when they came out? So not that long away. Been around for like 10 months or something. And it's kind of time for their end to reign, which is really sad because I love Shaddolls and I want to rebuild Shaddolls again. But they're probably going to get hit. So as far as the main deck monsters, hitting Beast would be annoying, but not too annoying. Hitting Squamata would actually be worthwhile, despite the fact that you only run 2 Squamata. Because Squamata is any Shaddolls monster. If you drop him for Beast, he can be a Dragon, he can be a Hedgehog, he's just a Swiss Army. So Squamata is really good, he's just great for deck thinning, but getting rid of him and just be like, okay, let's put in some more of other cards, attack cards, or more of the other Shaddolls. Hitting Falco would actually hurt the deck, because a lot of their plays is just getting Falco to the field and trying to reuse the same Falco whenever possible. I love Sinister flipping Falco with Sinister Shadow Game, then my turn fusion summon with it, get it to reset itself, and then I have a Beast Engrave as well, and a Beast that I'd use to draw 2, so it's just really, really awesome. Should also Falco just makes those plays so nicely, and that's the main thing you're trying to do, specifically in pure Shaddolls. So hurting this, putting it to 2, it would hurt some pure builds. I only run 2. But I do know that some pure will run 3. Putting him to 1 would actually be really, really bad, because many times after that first Falco, like, it gets attacked and it's just like, bye-bye Falco. It's not every game that you get to reuse one Falco more than once. And many times, if it's face up, you can go for a Synchro Summon, because Black Rose, Moonlit, Leo, this creates such huge advantage. Synchro Summoning Falco and Construct is just a really awesome play, because then you get back your Shaddolls fusions and you can go and make another Construct sometimes. Hitting Hedgehog, he is a searcher, so it wouldn't be a bad idea if they wanted to touch on the deck but not really hurt it. That is something that they could go for. So if they really wanted to hurt the deck, it would be Squamata and Falco. If they just wanted to touch on the deck, Hedgehog and Beast. Now, as far as the fusions, all the fusions except Winda and Construct are 1-ofs, except for Crystal. Although I think Crystal might see some play with Shadow and Ephelium once the Pendulum Magician comes out, because he can just wreck them and negate the summon. But putting Construct in 1 would be really bad, really annoying, because she's one of those cards that you just use to deck in and you're clear. Your monster, she just doesn't care what's in front of her pretty much, so she'll just destroy everything. And Winda, of course, like, sometimes I only summon 1 Winda, but it's good to have 2 Windas, because she's an easy fusion summon, just 2 Shaddolls monsters. So putting her down to 1 would make late game a little bit more annoying, because then you don't have those targets. You'd have to be very protective of your Winda, because you won't be able to make another one unless you run Refusion. And so, or draw Ravis. And then as far as the Shaddolls Fusion spell cards, which I forgot to put in here, but nonetheless, I feel putting the normal spell card, Shaddolls Fusion, to 2 or 1 with it, hitting them in Gen would hurt them, because I run 3 of L and 3 Shaddolls Fusion, and I still don't see the card every game. So it's annoying as hell when I don't. And so, putting it would really hurt the consistency of the deck, because it's all about making that first fusion summon whenever you can, and so hitting it would really hurt the consistency. A lot of people like the El Shaddolls though a lot, because of how fast it can be. It can just be like a lance pretty much, or a Deep Vision, Neoforce, let me make Window, let me make check any Augur real quick. So hitting L can be good, but yet Shaddolls Fusion, yeah, it can be really powerful. specifically with the new Pendulum Magicians, if they want to make that deck good by hitting other decks, because Shaddolls have a decent matchup against them, because all they do is summon from the extra deck. So it's just like Shadoll Fusion for days. So that is something they could decide to do, is hit Shadoll Fusion, so that way Pendulum Magicians can do better. And so that is it for the fusions and the spell card. Let's go on to Nekroz. This is the big deck. This has been a big deck forever. They did hit it. They did put Brio to 2 and Prep to 1. And honestly, a lot of people are talking about Manju and Senju getting hit, which it probably should. But again, hitting these cards would hurt rituals in general. They did hit them in the OCG, then brought them back from the OCG and hit Nekroz. So they're probably, if they're going to touch on Nekroz or hit Nekroz themselves, they might put Shred to 2 or to 1. They might put Unicore or Colossalus, or maybe one of the ritual spell cards like Cycles to 2 or something. So they should definitely focus on hitting the Nekroz monsters. I mean, hitting Colossalus, like somebody once said in a deck profile that he only ran one Colossalus and he said you only need one. Like drawing into more than one is actually kind of bad. We're drawing into it late game because you have all of your ritual spell cards in the grave, and they can add all the ritual spell cards, so it's no need. So putting this card to 1 wouldn't hurt the deck too badly. Specifically with Rhoda, which is on here, and I'll talk about that. Hitting Unicore would be something decent, along with Kaleidomir. Trishula and Valkyries, some people run 2, some run 3. So hitting this card would be really good because it allowed them to not be able to OTK. It wouldn't be able to let them stall, which is pretty much their, well, this is their card to stall. The exact opposite of an OTK is to stall. So hitting this card would make it easier to OTK them. Like the Pendulum Magicians, they could just Pendulum Summon 3 Odd Eyes and whatnot and check the game pretty much. And then yeah, so Nekroz monsters, they probably will get touched again. If they really want to hurt the deck and make Pendulum Magicians good, they'd hit Valkyries. Trishula can be annoying because he doesn't target, but then again, you only see 1 or 2 maybe in the deck, so there's no real reason. Like the way to hurt this deck is either get rid of Valk or touch on consistency. Put Brio to 1, hit Manju and Senju, and to hit Unicore. That would be how you hurt the consistency of the deck. But then again, the deck still has Songbird, it still has Prep, it still has Upstart Goblins that it could run. So there's a lot that it can do. And now on to Satellarknights, another Duelist Alliance deck. Honestly, the ways that I feel to hurt this deck, and honestly, I don't think this deck will get touched, but it might, because it has done well, and it was one of the big decks. It was Nekroz and Satellarknights for a little bit. And so the way I feel to really hurt this deck is to either hit Altair, because if you put Deneb to 1, they'll just be like, summon Deneb, search Altair, summon Deneb, search Altair, and they just keep on doing that. They only need 1 Deneb. Putting Altair and getting the Altairs, whether you're just playing against them, it's just what's really good, because now they don't have as many Call the Hunted targets that can get them 2 monsters. They don't have as many Altairs in general, so they can't summon Altair and summon Deneb. They have to call a Haunted Deneb, search Vega, and Vega to summon some other Satellarknight monster in order to make rank 4 XC. Or they could hit Alpha, because Alpha is something that can be very annoying and very powerful. Just putting their monster in the grave for the next turn, negating a card, and then drawing a card. And then we also have Star Ceres. Probably won't get hit, they're still very new. Don't like it when cards get hit right away after they come out. And honestly, I don't think these cards are really that good. Because you can't do anything with Sovereignty unless you have Scepter. And you can't do anything with Scepter unless you have Sovereignty, except summon him and search. But then you have to wait until you get another Scepter to hand to actually go off, or until you get a Call of the Haunted. And this card is in your graveyard. So, I don't like this. You need 3 monster cards on, which can be sometimes really hard to do when you're trying to do a whole bunch of deck thinning. Such as with Shaddolls, when you're just trying to do as much deck thinning as possible so you can get these 2 cards. And it's just not working for you. So I doubt this would be getting hit, because I just don't feel the combo is really that good. Like, if you get it off, you go so plus, but just getting it's like you have to build your deck entirely around this one play, and it's just like, nah, I'd rather not. And then reinforcing the army. Honestly, this card should get hit, because it's like every time a deck or an archetype gets released or announced, and they say warriors, it's just like, oh my. Because now they have a Rhoda that can search them out, like Ignites are going to be coming out, and they can be searched by Rhoda. You have Nekroz running Rhoda. So it's just, like, really? This gives so many decks such good consistency, just like Shaddolls. So putting this card to 2 or to 1 wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to do. And now for cards that probably should come back or whatnot, just random cards. Heavy Storm. Honestly, I don't think this thing would do anything. People are all about setting 5 back row is stupid, or setting 4 back row is stupid. It's card creating your defense. Like, there's offensive plays and there's defensive plays. And with Heavy Storm and Rejeki legal, it's going to be OTK central here. So, unless you want every single deck you're facing to be OTK based, because it's like, oh, I can't create a defense because they just Heavy Storm me, then yeah, no. And honestly, like, I was playing specifically with the Nekroz. Like, if the Nekroz went to 1, which he probably should, then I'd be kind of okay. But nonetheless, the Nekroz plus Heavy Storm, no, that's bad. That's very bad. But anyways, with Heavy Storm, like, even without it, when I went to regionals with my HTTP deck, which was an anti-meta trap tricks deck, and I had a lot of back row, there would be some games, like, I only got screwed over by Nekroz once out of my 2 Nekroz matchups. And the one time I did get screwed by Nekroz, the guy already had World of Crease, so it was like, the Nekroz just kind of added the final nail to my coffin and my chances to go into nationals. And so, the other game, he summoned a Nekroz, but I warning her. But he still won because he was able to fight through the back row. He was just able to get through it. And so, he was playing Nekroz, of course, but he had that skill, he had that ability to play through the defense. So I did end up losing games despite having a 5 back row. Woo. And honestly, if this card came back with Rejeki and Heavy Storm and Dark Hole legal, Starlight Road for days, you go for your OTK, nope, I'm going to summon out Stardust. So good luck clearing the rest of my monsters. Or artifacts. This card, specifically with OTKs, will be like, I'm going to set Molotov to my side of the field, destroying Heavy Storm, and then Heavy Storm would resolve, destroying the Molotov, any other back row, and artifact Ignition, and Ignition would be like, your battle phase is now skipped. And Molotov would then pop a face-up card, and would summon itself out. So Heavy Storm would probably make you go minus, because you wouldn't get your battle phase that turn, so you'd pretty much be like, okay, I can't go for the OTK this turn, so I'll pass turn, and then your opponent will go and reset their back, have more back row, whatever. Because, I mean, well, this will hurt them for activating Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm will still resolve, so they probably wouldn't set everything. They'd still be really wary. And then again, they could also set, or maybe even summon out Scythe. And so that is a card that could really hurt them even more. And so yeah. And so other cards that could come back is like Global. I've heard some people talk about Global, but I think Ace and I's talked about it because it's only a once per duel effect, so why run more than one? So that is something that wouldn't hurt, putting it up to 2, then eventually putting it up to 3. Wouldn't be a bad idea. I like it in Shaddolls a lot because it's just that Synchro monster helped great for making Mistworm, who I find a Rex, Pendulum Magicians. And then Instant Fusion, which is currently at 3, but some people feel it should be preemptively put to 1 because of Noden coming out. One Noden comes out in a new ban list. I know they banned Super Poly before we got Noden, which is why they hit it. Because Noden plus Super Poly is stupid. It's like, oh, Pendulum Magicians? Yeah, I'm going to fusion summon your Absolute Dragon and your Meteor Burst Dragon into my Noden. So you just go really plus with Super Poly. So that's why they hit it. But I was really upset that we didn't get Noden in that format, or that ban list. Because if we had gotten Noden, then it would have been like, okay, they hit it because they were releasing Nodin. But nah. And honestly, running more than one instant fusion and more than one Nodin, that puts a lot of pressure on the extra deck, and you have to have a really consistent deck where you have those targets in the graveyard, because opening up with 2 of them, it's like you have those 2 cards, but now you need to get a monster that you can use into the graveyard, such as a Yukio Sagi or the whatnot. So it is something that probably wouldn't need to be done, because only one person, you only want one copy really, unless you're running the actual Nodin deck, which isn't the strongest deck in the world. And besides that, I really find Nodin interesting. He's kind of like the new Monster Reborn almost, because he summons out 1 monster for your graveyard. You pay 1,000 life points to summon out Nodin, and then you can go for an XC or a Synchro right away. And something I was thinking with Monster Reborn for a long time is that it was outdated. Like, it was from a time where you could just Monster Reborn that 1 monster and not have an entirely broken field per se. But then again, we have Soul Charge Leader. But this just summons out a lower level monster. Its effects negated. If this card leaves the field, it will be destroyed. Or will be banished actually. So there's some things with this that are really interesting. And then you can go for your XC and your Synchro play, so it's getting Monster Reborn into that next level where you're going for that XC summon, for that Synchro summon. So I feel this is a much more updated version of Monster Reborn that should be in the game. It definitely shouldn't be banned. Instant fusion before Nodin even comes out. I think a lot of people would be upset about that. But putting it to 1 wouldn't do much. Like, in most decks, I don't think 2 would even be worthwhile. Like, I have trouble running Instant Fusion and Mass Change second in Shaddolls, so that way I can make Dark Law. And that's also another card that could be talked about, is because Dark Law is really annoying and is really powerful. But again, you only want 1 copy of him, so unless you thinking he should be banned, it won't do much. And we'll just hit heroes. But then again, they don't run Mass Change second too much. And so that is it for pretty much the ban list. Again, they could hit the Duelist Alliance deck. Cleese probably won't get hit. I think their time's up pretty much. Who knows, maybe they get sacrificed at 2. And yeah, there isn't anything else that looks like it should probably be touched. It's really just Shaddolls, Nekroz, and Statellanites. And Statellanites are waning. Shaddolls are still really strong, and they're going to continue being strong. Nekroz will probably get hit. They might not. They might go under the radar, get touched a little bit. Fail at Worlds because it's a cross ban list, so the OCG ban list and the TCG ban list will be combined to do one extreme or another, and so they won't be able to play, nor will Shaddolls be able to play at Worlds, because 1 construct, 1 window isn't the best thing in the world. So, interesting stuff. Who knows what we'll get. Maybe we'll get Chaos Emperor and Dragon finally. Maybe we'll get D-Mock to come back now that they have their erratas. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think of the ban list. What cards do you want to see come off? What cards do you want to see go on the ban list? Should Unicorn be semi-limited, limited? Should Trishla be banned? Should all beasts be banned? What do you guys think? And so, yeah, just tell me down below in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.